Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts. Hope that you guys are enjoying the BSL. We're in the round of 8, best of 5, and we have up here in game number 2 between these two players, ZhanHun winning game 1 against Gypsy. Big macro game on good night. Gypsy, of course, over here in that mid-left. You know, it's hard to really diagnose that previous game. Like, it felt like Gypsy was playing pretty well, and ZhanHun macroed well and everything, but I think the drop harassment just kind of ran around Gypsy maybe a little bit too much. And, you know, if you start to take a little bit too much from their speed shuttle harassment, it can get out of hand. I honestly think that if someone is going for speed shuttle harassment, you have to almost over-defend. Like, you have to do something that looks ludicrous. Like, why would they ever even try? Because they'll still try, and then they'll lose everything. And then you're like, okay, I feel very good about this position. So maybe, like, a few more mines is made, a few more missile turrets made, that type of thing. But it didn't feel like Gypsy was playing terribly. And ZhanHun, other than over-making probes for a little bit, I think it was obviously a very solid macro game. So we'll see what he can do here on Ascension. He is going to be going for a Nexus first, which is very popular on the map. Gypsy, I'm not entirely sure what his style is going to end up being here. Looking forward to seeing, like, does he want to go gasless expansion? Yeah, he does. He's sending out an SCV already. So when you see an SCV go out this quickly, that generally means from Terran that you're going to be seeing just Barracks Command Center. We'll see if it's the double depot variety or the single depot variety. Single depot would be best case scenario for him, since it is straight up a Nexus first from ZhanHun. So that would put him into a pretty good spot, and those would be two pretty common builds that go up against each other. Gasless expansion against Nexus first is generally like slight advantage to Nexus first, but some of it counts on how quickly you scout each other and all of that. Like, if you scout each other very quickly, or if one side scouts the other one before, right? Like, you'll be able to look and say, oh, I don't need a bunker quickly. Or on ZhanHun's side, you can look and say, oh, I don't need a second gateway. And then you can just kind of optimize from there. But yeah, it is going to be the second depot variety. This one is a little bit more trendy right now, a little bit safer. If they do go, like, even Zealot expand, this is going to be much better against it. The SCV going to be going up towards that natural now. Here comes down Gypsy's SCV, and he does get the command center started. Of course, the Nexus getting pretty close to done at this point, and as Gypsy sees that, he's going to realize exactly what's going on here. And in fact, even make sure he's not even making another Marine, because there's really no point. So gas is being taken. He will eventually throw a bunker down here. ZhanHun is making a single Zealot, but no second gateway as of yet. And his Nexus is done. No probes sent. Not yet, at least. All right, the probe's being sent out now. Oh! Little miss micro there. Does end up losing his SCV a bit before he really needs to, unfortunately. And a second Zealot is being made, so there's a possibility. Like, he's been scouting this repeatedly. I think he'll send both the Zealots down. Because if your opponent only has 2 Marines, even if he makes the bunker, you can literally just run the 2 Zealots by. It's really when you get 4 Marines that Zealot run-bys become pretty bad. But no, doesn't send them. Okay. So just going to chill on that for now. Gypsy has his first factory coming. Should be starting the second one here just in a second. Any moment now. And, you know, when we see these types of openers, it's pretty popular to go for a 2-factory pressure. And there's actually some, like, 4-factory timing attacks that you can do in this position that are pretty strong, I think. But you don't necessarily need to do them. And I think this is a particularly hard map to do those things on if they go for something like Reaver. If not, the Speed Vultures can be very, very powerful. You know, if you look at... If we zoom out and take a look, right? You've got this area that can be run through by Speed Vultures. And Speed Vultures can go around like this or up through this area, right? So there's like 3 different paths. Generally, the tanks will be forced to go this way. But if the goons want to hold them, they'll stand here. And if the goons are standing here, you can either run in Vultures this way or around this way. excuse me, and sometimes even flank the Dragoons. So, yeah, it's definitely not a bad play to go for something like that. Now, mines are actually the first upgrade here. One add-on, one without add-on. Armory and Academy coming up, so he's going to get some very high-quality scouting coming up here. Observatory, as well as that Dragoon range. ZhanHun leaving a few units in the main base in case of drops. Wants to be ready for that possibility. Nicely placed pylon. Kind of an anti-drop pylon as well. If you drop, like, vultures over here or something, they can't get behind the minerals over here anymore. So nice little kind of wall going on. No +1 yet. Definitely wants to get that started. Hopefully he doesn't forget for too long. One of the real keys to playing a good game on Ascension is making sure that your upgrades are very timely. Okay, that's the first scan. He sees the Observer popping out, and that's a pretty normal time. He did see a couple units here with his Vultures, so that's pretty useful as well. And there we go. We do get +1 going. So, yeah, it looks like Gypsy can probably just play a pretty straightforward macro game from here. It looks like ZhanHun is open carefully. Doesn't seem like there's too much that Gypsy can do, nor ZhanHun. Citadel has been created, so it looks like it's going to be a quick Arbiter build this game. And in fact, another scan goes down, and let's just take a look. He does see the Citadel timing, which is definitely something that you are looking for here. Generally, you go Citadel, and then you'll see like Stargate and Templar Archives at the same time there. But yeah, with the quick Arbiter, I actually kind of like it in these positions. Carrier is considered to be the best thing on this map, but everyone kind of knows that, so everyone generally rushes their upgrades out so that they can actually fight against that, and it's more of a mathematical, like, macro play type of way to do it, whereas the Arbiter, I think, gives you a bit of flexibility as Protoss, and you've got the whole back of Terran's main. This is actually a pretty hard main to defend against incoming recalls. So, yeah, again, I kind of like the ideas put out by ZhanHun here as far as build order. Gypsy, though, seems to be parrying everything very well. Few turrets going up. Marines being sent out. A few Dragoons up here just kind of pressuring back those mines, clearing things out. They can't do anything, though, obviously. Far too much defense here. It's just like a statement that you know that your opponent can't really do anything right now. You can clear those mines out, act like you're pressuring. And, in fact, a fourth Nexus in an interesting location at that. All right. It almost seems weird. I would have imagined this being the fourth base, but he decides to take this one. That means he's going to have to control the center of the map. If you're going to take this base, maybe you need to make pylon walls over here to prevent vultures from going that area, because this is a very wide area that, like, look at all the places you can come in and attack Protoss. Here, you can go, like, up to this high ground, right? You have this whole middle area. You have this ramp that goes up. If you go through this middle area and get up into here, you can go over here, or up here. So, yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of a funny location. It's definitely not somewhere that I would advise someone to expand to, but maybe it's really good. Now, Gypsy is macroing up. Adding those additional factories. And I'm actually interested in this. Is he going to go dropship or quick vessel? I think he should go quick vessel. He does have this third gas up. And like I mentioned, it's very hard to defend Arbiters on this map. And sometimes when it's a really hard to defend Arbiter map, you can assume recall and just go quick EMP and try to counter it with that. It's difficult, and you need to hit your first EMP. If you miss it, you've spent a hell of a lot of money for no return. So definitely very important. Looks like Arbiter Energy going to be first. Right? Oh my gosh, that's definitely not something you see every day, but that might just point us towards the fact that ZhanHun wants to play a huge macro game once again. I think we're starting to get a feel for this guy. Look at this, another Nexus coming down as well. 70 probes, very, very healthy economy. Kind of a slow game, kind of a slow series, right? Like, both sides are very strong at macro and are kind of doing everything correctly or correctly enough that they both know that they can't really do anything to each other, right? Very small moves, like just, here's a group of Dragoons. And as time runs out in that area, as he knows Gypsy has enough to easily come up and push us back, okay, let's back it up. And of course, Gypsy here, zero potential to attack as of yet. The 5th base is now up, sent the probes over. Much better probe count this game. 70 is really, really solid. For a little bit there, we had it trending to like 60-ish probes for Protoss, 62 probes maybe, so that they'd have bigger maxes. But I don't think it's like, I haven't seen it as much lately. So I think 70 is like pretty good, pretty healthy. 63 for Gypsy, looking really strong. You want those mid-60s for Terran generally. ZhanHun taking another Nexus, maybe getting ready for even another one, and even another one. So he's going to take like just about every map, every base on the map, it looks like. The upgrades continue. That's 2-1 still on the way here. Quite a few Zealots coming down. Gypsy actually has pretty insane supply. Now, don't forget, it was Nexus first against a gasless expansion for Terran. So you expect them to macro up quickly in those positions, but I do want to throw out, right, like, if you do a factory expand, you want, at 12 minutes, if there hasn't been, like, a ton of battling going on, you need 140 as Terran and 200 as Protoss. And looking here, ZhanHun obviously has made a ton of Nexuses and double Stargate Arbiter and has 2 Forges running, so he doesn't have quite max supply at 12 minutes, but still, you know, very good. I think he's still doing a very good job of it. And, of course, Gypsy here had, like, 160, so very, very healthy as far as supply goes. Plenty of units here for Gypsy. This, like, you cannot attack. I think he's just waiting to see if Gypsy will try to come up the ramp. And I tell you, Gypsy just has to take his time, control this area, and then go into the center. But he's got to do everything relatively quickly from this point, because the other main has been taken, the other natural is being taken. I mean, the amount of bases ZhanHun is getting, you really, really do need to make something happen here as Gypsy. Since he's waited all this time, he's got 2 on upgrades and everything. But look at this. A counter recall is ready. Recall, the upgrade is done. And even though you see all these turrets, this will not stop the recall. The recall will still go off. Okay, here we go. Gypsy moving forward with his army onto his own high ground here. He did kill a depot to get out. That was like a defensively placed depot. Oh, and here we go. The recall. Very, very annoying. Now, the first set of units might not end up doing that much. Actually, they might get this armory, which is super painful. But they're clearing turrets, they're clearing mines. This possibly sets up for another recall. And, of course, getting rid of that additional attack upgrade is fantastic. Looks like Gypsy clearing out this area. It looks... Oh, man. ZhanHun actually trying to run in the small little hole there with a little bit of a counterattack. But Gypsy, of course, shuts that down and now going to attack out onto the map. ZhanHun right now rallying out his troops so quickly. Now, Gypsy has cleared that, but do we have another recall ready? Yes. Well, very shortly. It doesn't have quite enough energy yet, but definitely that is what is on ZhanHun's mind. And that is what should be on his mind as well. I think another recall in that area will be really good. The odds that he'll have as many mines or as many turrets up are very, very low. That's like why you do that first suicidal recall, so that the next one gets in and does the real damage. But I mean, obviously killing that forge was real damage as well. Now the 4th base for Gypsy is up. Here comes this additional recall. Right on top of those mineral patches, right on top of these siege tanks. Some mines are here, but he's going to end up killing a decent amount. This is very annoying to deal with. Gypsy, ooh, his unit's getting a little bit split there momentarily. Would love to see an MP on this Arbiter. Doesn't quite get it there. Gypsy trying to clear this recall on his main. He definitely can clear it, and he is dealing a lot of damage. Kind of a crazy situation right now. Multiple bases look like they will end up falling here for ZhanHun. He's throwing up some more defenses, continuing to macro at home. Oh, do we have a scan here? One scan. He only has one scan total. Okay, the Arbiter moves out of the way, so he will be able to kill all of this off anyways. In the meantime, Gypsy pushing into the natural. Going to be able to get that as well. Looks like we had another recall over here at the 4th base of Gypsy. Gypsy having a hard time keeping his mining going. ZhanHun with some bad rallies, perhaps. A lot of units running out into Gypsy's army. Gypsy may actually be able to get in here and clear this out. A lot of units end up falling there. Okay, this Arbiter will be picked off, I think, by the Goliaths that spawn in the base. Uh-oh, though. Another recall is getting ready to come in here. Less and less defense every time he goes in. Where does he have some units to actually recall? Okay, looks like he is getting a fair amount. Actually turns around at the turrets. Doesn't quite have enough energy, but it does now. We'll keep an eye on that. One eye on the minimap, one eye on this battle. Gypsy getting into the main base to start to attack it. We have more gates being made in the other main, though, and here we go. Here comes the recall. Flies right over those missile turrets, and another recall into that main mineral line. The siege tanks are there, but will get killed off very, very quickly indeed. More units coming up, so Gypsy very quick to clean this. Gypsy has really been kind of squished into like a little ball right now. He's like potentially 4 base, but actually 2 base at the moment. He does have a good solid attack going through here. In fact, ZhanHun has mostly given up making things in his main base other than some Arbiters. So there's some good things there for sure. But ZhanHun, like, he's got a lot of nexuses around the map. Oh, Gypsy did take this one, actually. I missed that. Tries the EMP. Doesn't quite get it. I think Gypsy has just enough units to clear this out, keep this base alive, so very important in that. We'll see if there's going to be more recalls still incoming. I almost was like, does he have another Nexus here? That's too much. But ZhanHun really, at this point, like, he can rebuild way more gateways. He is low on gas, though. Gypsy coming in and killing off, I don't even know which base number this is. I think it's actually his 6th base. Normally a 4th base at this position, but Gypsy going to be able to get that one as well. Looks like we had another recall into the main base here as well. ZhanHun just buying so much time despite losing a lot of his stuff in here, and now DT's starting to be spread around. That is really going to tax the multitasking and attention here of Gypsy. Look, he's got to scan here. He's got to scan the DTs that are out on the map as well. And this is getting, like, really highly annoying at this point. That more Zealots hitting into this 3rd base, dragging some mines on top of the tanks as well. We might see yet another recall. Yep, there it is on top of those siege tanks. And it seems like ZhanHun is just overwhelming Gypsy this game. Gypsy looks poised to go down 0-2 in this best of 5. It's definitely shown some strong macro and everything, but these recalls just kind of getting him so far. All right, comes down, tries to clean this up. Has another command center here. I got to tell you, this is one amazing thing about Gypsy. He finds the time to put command centers down just about everywhere, continuing to expand, continuing to keep that economy up. Look at the supply. They actually have very similar army supplies right now. Not that far off as far as workers as well. Gypsy has kind of cleared the entire left-hand side of the map. See if he can continue to produce and continue to attack out here. This base is being retaken, so it has about half of its mineral patches. Gypsy bringing his army down to try to stop this before it begins. And looks like he will force that cancel very easily. Now, I think right now if Gypsy pulls back and try... Oh, my God, another recall. Maybe not, man. Maybe he's going to feel like he has to attack. If you walk all the way home to clear this out, that is not feeling very good, but he doesn't have enough units to do anything else. This might turn into a very messy base raid. Another huge recall. Oh, Gypsy's going to lose everything over here, and he calls GG. ZhanHun goes up 2-0.